here with the incredible director, John Kingman, who is the director of the feature film Snatchers. How are you, and welcome to the show.
Hi, thanks for having me, Mama Rose.
We're so happy to have you here. Could you give our viewers a brief description of what the film is about?
Sure. Snatchers is your kind of typical alien invasion movie. And our sort of twist on it was saying, like, if aliens invaded Brooklyn, how would you have any idea? Like, how do you know your neighbors well enough? How do you know the guy that works at the bodega or, the lady at the laundromat well enough to know if an alien invasion was actually happening and these people were being taken by aliens? So that's sort of our jumping off point for this movie.
Oh, fabulous. It's such a great film, by the way, everybody. I highly recommend it. What was the inspiration behind the film?
The inspiration was, I've been in New York since 2001, and I was living in a pretty big building at the time, and I realized I knew almost none of my neighbors, and that just watched some creepy sci-fi movie, and I thought, man, if that happened here, I would never know. I would never know if a bunch of people got taken. And so that was sort of where I came out of it.
So with the great success of this film, coming out and all the fabulousness around it, are you excited to have the film shown around the world through the Brooklyn Film Festival? What does this mean to you?
I mean, it's pretty incredible opportunity. I think I was very worried coming into festival season with Corona because, people aren't going to festivals, and that's not part of people's lives right now. And I think what's really amazing is that the Brooklyn Film Festival decided to take it all online, to make it all free, and get the broadest possible public that they could, which is great for our film because, I would love for the most people to see it as possible. So it's a win-win.
Oh, absolutely. And I'm so glad that it's going to be at the Brooklyn Film Festival. Now, there are many levels to this film. What was the inspiration behind why you chose these themes, especially my favorite character, White Duke?
I think a big thing that we wanted to play with, Guy Patton and I, the writer, we'd worked on a couple of things before, and we were talking a lot about how what we thought would be funny was if all these characters' sense of identity was really at odds with how the rest of the world saw them. And so kind of across the board, every single one of these characters, White Duke included, is a person who really thinks that the world looks at them in a very particular way and is fully committed to being that person. But like, it just doesn't add up with sort of how the broader public would see them. And so for the two main characters, Tadeki and Bree, it's a lot about like how they see themselves versus how they really are living their lives in the face of a bunch of people being body snatched.
That's wonderful. And although I could praise this film all day long, in your own words, why is this film so important to see?
It's funny. And I think by and large right now, a lot of people could use a laugh. I know I could, and we put so much heart into this. This is a true Brooklyn collaboration. These are people, basically everybody in this movie and in crew was somebody that I had worked with over the last 20 years. I pulled in every favor that I had. This is a no budget, shoestring thing that we did, and it was really incredible to be able to pull off some of the stuff that we got to pull off. So please watch it just for all the people that worked on it.
Well, we want to thank you so much for being here for the Mama Rose Show, and we wish you all the best at the Brooklyn Film Festival. Remember, the film is Snatchers, highly recommended, and now we're going to show you the trailer from the film, so we look forward to seeing that. Wish you the best, and we'll talk soon.
What do we know?
Meteor crashed, strange corn inside.
You seen this weird plant? You a cop? Do I look like a cop? Yes.
The other day I saw something weird in one of the bathrooms.
Probably something in the water. NSA trying to keep tabs.
On our poop?
1, 2, 3. The government. What? That corn is not of this world.
Everybody is acting weird. And not just Williamsburg weird. Different weird. Alien weird.
Time is just a construct, isn't it? So, early and late, they're abstractions too, you know what I mean?
It must be exhausting documenting human suffering while cleaning urinals.
This is serious, all right? And it's not just about us. The whole city's in trouble, maybe the whole planet. People are infecting people, controlling them.
I call them Snatchers.
Great name. Go on.
Stop it, stop it, stop it, you guys, stop. This is exactly what they want. They want us paranoid and fighting amongst ourselves.
I'm Instagramming this shit. Everybody say cornhole.
Cornhole.
I am here with three fabulous ladies, and you're going to notice a slight costume change because these ladies are so fabulous. And I'm so excited to introduce Sisters, Dream and Variation with director Catherine Legault and the sisters Tyr Jasa and Jasa Baka. How are you doing, ladies?
Thank you for having us. Glad to be here.
Could you please give us a brief description of the documentary?
Of course, this is a documentary that combines animations and performances. It tells the story of Jasa and Tyr here present, two sisters, artist sisters of Icelandic background, respectively an interdisciplinary artist and a musician and singer. And they are both inspired by their great-grandmother's recording of Icelandic folk songs. And they travel to Iceland for the first time to collaborate on a project that brings together their artistic disciplines and their cultural heritage. So it's a film that looks at their artistic approach in its different forms, but also their family explorations and their self-discovery.
And as artists, you have a very distinctive style that sets you apart. What is the inspiration behind this?
I'm inspired by so many things, but I guess one thing that comes up in my work is the sort of invisible world that's surrounding me. And in the film, you'll also see, like, in the projections, I'm really channeling this and layering drawings on top of photos that kind of show you how this world surfaces around reality.
There's a quote in the film that really hit my heart about being an outcast. For those viewers of the show and beyond, could you please expand on this, as well as what advice you would have to those of us that just want to be different and accepted as such?
Part of the film that I'm talking about, and just how I felt like I'd never fit into anything, and I've just been kind of this alien or this just complete weirdo, and I kind of just decide I'm kind of a hermit as well, so I just kind of block everybody else out and focus on what's inspiring to me, which is also obviously our great-grandmother's voice and chopping it up and making loops and little cello loops and samples, and just being inspired by this kind of what Jasa was saying, this like invisible world, and just whatever feels nourishing to me at the time. And then just not thinking too much about what other people think, and whoever is attracted to that and whoever naturally is magnetically inspired by that also will form a little kind of oasis of community. So
thank you so much for that. I really was impacted by that, because throughout my life I've always wanted to be different. I didn't want to be just like anybody else. And seeing this film, that was one of the most impactful things to me, was the aspect of being different and the colors and the creativity that was found in this film. I'm very excited to have people see this film. Now, in the film, there's a very specific and meaningful aspect about feminism. Could you please elaborate on your feelings of this topic through the film?
Maybe I can say that it's a film about Tyr and Jasa more specifically, but it also talks about 4 generations of women. And I think just in itself, having like a positive film showing great example of empowered women is just a great way to address feminism without being feisty about it. You know, it's just like very organic and natural. It's just who they are.
I think we didn't really set out to make a feminist film, but it's about our sort of matriarchal family line, and this is just happens to be who inspired us. So it wasn't like, let's make a feminist film, but it's just naturally happened, as Catherine was saying.
But I have to say also that most of the key creative of the film are women. And I'm sure that made a big difference in the film's treatment and also just the storytelling in itself.
And the director.
So is there any other aspect about the film that you would like to speak about to our viewers? I think this is a very important film.
It's kind of helpful, like as a Q&A after people watch it too, but I guess a common question that's came up at one of those was like, how are we collaborating now? But it's I mean, that's not really necessarily what you're asking anyway, but I think a big theme goes into like just really not thinking about what other people think or anything and just going completely into our own little vortex. I think that's a big part of it. So.
And are you excited to be seen at the Brooklyn Film Festival and around the world with this brilliant film?
Totally. I'm so delighted. I'm really excited about it. And I'm really also glad that you invited us. I'm kind of anxious because like usually we have Q&As with people live, and now that won't be possible, but I'm really happy that the film would be accessible to everybody. And I hope it will inspire people. That's one of the big thing of the film too, as Tyr was mentioning, like it's important just to go for it and, you know, regardless of what people think, and just listen to your own inner voice and own it.
In the film, you're talking about creating an album. Has the album been completed? And if so, where can we buy it?
Well, we're planning on releasing the original soundtrack of the film that was composed by Tyr and also Justin Goswell and Eric Shaw. And we were planning on releasing the single, which is the theme song for the credit song, when we release the film, but it has been postponed, obviously. So we don't know yet, but we'll definitely make it accessible to our audience shortly. And also, like, we'll be posting some of like Jasa's work and, you know, animation slowly, just to show people, you know, the incredible aesthetic that we pull off with. Well, Jasa was making a lot of the animations and illustrations, and also Frances Adair McKenzie and Cara Blake and Calvin Brett. So it's really, I think in itself, like it's really a piece of art.
There's also a new, there's a Singa album that was featured in the kind of making of in the documentary live in Iceland. And then since then we're basically writing new songs, but also want to do a studio version of that. So that's coming out probably in a year or so. But in the meantime, we've been making a kind of teaser video, and I was about to upload it today, but it like upload failed. But I can still kind of show that if you want. But it's a mixture of some live footage from our show in February that Catherine actually shot, and then a music video that I made for that song, like layered on top of each other. And that's all footage from Newfoundland, which is kind of looks a lot like Iceland. So it can kind of like, you know, get the essence. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on kind of behind the scenes right now with album makings and new songs, and just taking this time to just completely redo our whole aesthetic as well. So kind of fun, kind of, what you have to do at this time anyway without the live shows. So it's a good time for that. And I always like writing new songs in the spring. It's kind of the perfect time for that. So, yeah.
I'm very excited to hear when the album will come out once we're able to. And, I hope that you have great success with the film and your future tours and, everything that's going on for you. And I just want you to have the best of luck with everything, because I am definitely a huge supporter of this film because of every aspect that the film has to offer. And, I just want to thank the three of you for joining us here at the Mama Rose Show, and tell our audience to stay tuned for a trailer from the documentary because everybody must see this film.
Thank you.
Ég syngja það fyrir þig, Jóna mín. Þú kannski gleymir einhverju sorgarstund þinni sem þú hefur nú dag eftir dag, en gleði og sorgar saman alltaf, þú veist það, Jóna mín.
I know that there's energy around us that we can't see, but you can feel it if you pay attention. You have to let it be alive first, and then you kind of capture it and perform it.
Art is something that's outside of yourself. So it's not about you when you're performing, but it's about the music, and you're just a medium or like a conduit of that.
Hello, this is Jasa, and Tyr is a funny person, and she will say something.
We haven't been to Iceland. We have relatives there we've never met. It's part of who you are is who your ancestors were.
I know from my grandparents the stories that they told me that I've carried throughout my entire adult life. We need those stories to fortify the banality of our existence.
The nostalgia is about childhood memories and kind of like this innocence, but also the future meeting the past.